welcome to another Dragonstorm Studios video. It is March 2022. The global pandemic seems to finally be winding down seriously this time, and that means the return of gatherings and tours. One thing which has helped a friend of mine get through these last rough few months is the knowledge that Ethan Nestor's quote, "I have to do this" tour is coming to Toronto. So we're going to draw him here today. For those of you who don't know, Ethan is the writer and host of Crank Gameplays, a YouTube channel centered around the video game run-throughs and just all around a friendly and kind influencer. I really enjoyed watching his one-year project with Markiplier about 2 years ago called Unus Annus, which led to creative ideas and things that I want to try once COVID restrictions are fully lifted, hopefully in the near future. Ethan showcases many new games, and between him and several other streamers, I get to see them play out because I am actually quite terrible at video games. I get a real sense of the story, and in the case of horror games, the atmosphere and the jump scares. But I've always really enjoyed watching people play, not so much playing myself. So I'm going to be drawing Ethan with my friend in the scene, playing on her PS4 together. And I'm hoping in the end the drawing's going to look really cute. Ethan is going to look a little bit weird at first, and at least until I draw the second portrait, because it is intended to be a scene with two figures, and they're going to be interacting as they're playing the video games together. The focus will be, of course, on Ethan in this video, but I'll add a picture of the final version at the end. I actually drew Ethan in October of 2020 on the channel as a response to one of the Unus Annus episodes, where I advocated his inclusion in the werewolf transformation, so we'll see how this turns out. So, without any further ado, let's talk about the drawing. So working on the teeth in particular is a great way of exhibiting exactly what a difference the shading and darkness makes in the picture. It looked awful a moment ago, and with the jump cuts and with me working on the space between the teeth, it really showed off the change that occurs. Speaking of change, the blending stomp here is doing a great job of helping me get some more three-dimensionality in the picture, and what a difference the shading makes to make the whole face look more three-dimensional, more realistic. The pressure you put down with the blending stomp also affects how dark the areas are. So I'm being aware of that. As you can see, I'm holding it kind of more of a sideways overhand grip. Speaking of hands and grips, the hand here holding the PS4 controller was challenging at first also because it doesn't look that great as the drawing begins. Until the shading goes on the hands, it really looks kind of blocky and looks not terribly impressive. But once again, as in the face, the shading makes such a big difference, so don't get discouraged if your drawing doesn't look amazing at first. I used a picture that I found online to help me, and that just was able to give me the angles for all the fingers. And I think that's one of the big keys in drawing hands. It's just the angles of the fingers and trying to get them as accurate as possible. So you can see here I'm working away, trying to get everything to look natural, and one way of doing that is making sure that you keep the width consistent for each portion of the digits. In particular, you're going to get some shading away from the light, so in this case the bottom of the hand fingers, and also in between the fingers with the webbing. That makes a really big difference in achieving that realistic look, and that hand on the left is already looking way better than it was even just a moment ago. Ethan's hair has always been a little bit tricky because it's so voluminous. Is that a word? Lots of volume. So I skip a lot of the tedious parts, but just adding lots and lots of dark, being careful not to get too much smudging on your hands and therefore on your page, and then leaving some lighter areas where the light again would be hitting the hair and creating some reflections. I think one of the most challenging things in drawing two people in a drawing is getting them to look proportionally correct. And I do a better job than usual in this case on that, but you can see the head in the background is too big, which I didn't actually notice at first. Hands, once again, very, very tricky. I've got my friend kind of wrapping her arms around Ethan while still holding a controller, and that also led to some interesting challenges. Part of me wishes I just stopped the drawing at Ethan, but again, he looks very weird right now by himself. Once my friend gets added in here, it will make an awfully big difference. So we're going to kind of, as we finish up some details here on the hands and controller, we will skip ahead and I'll show you what the end result looked like in terms of the drawing itself, which in the end I was actually quite happy with. But you can see that, again, once you get details in a portrait, it looks a bit better. But anyways, here's the end result. And on the whole, I am happy with it. So Ethan, best of luck in your tour. Hope everything goes well. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Have a great day.